live masterclass. Thank you for joining me today. I posted yesterday, just hopped on real quick and created a reel around what to do when someone poo-poos on your mood, because this happens a lot, right? So we could be in a really good space and then the energy around us can majorly affect the way we're feeling. So I wanted to talk for about 5 minutes about that, and then I wanted to jump right into doing a practice with you. I'm going to use the swing as the medium for us to play, but really you can do these practices anywhere with any medium. I just love the swing and the way that it works with the body. So I'm incorporating the swing practices into the energetics and the quantum coaching that I do. So I'm here live from Maui. It's absolutely gorgeous out. I'm loving this weather. We just had a couple big storms and now Maui's beautiful and recovering nicely. Lots of good cleanup, lots of spring cleaning. So yeah, but let's just jump right in so I can give you some tips and tools that can help you navigate those kind of situations. So I have some basics that I teach with my meditations and transmissions and all of the empowerment practices I do. And we're gonna work today with understanding our bubble. So 3 essential keys is like find your bubble. And that's why I love working with the swings, because we actually have our own bubble happening here. We're in our own space. And so we have to identify what is ours and what is theirs and how to create a nice, clean, energetic space for us and do our own spring cleansing and spring cleaning. So get into your own bubble and then imagine that there's a pillar along the central pathway, and we're going to create alignment in our spine. That's going to be our focus today. We're going to relieve the 3 major hubs and the tension that collects in our neck and shoulders, our lower back, and keeping our heart at the center point. So when something comes up, it's always going to be a mind, body, being relationship. It's never just one. And a lot of times we can try and process something with just our minds, and that can be problematic because our mind isn't always telling us the truth. The mind is a meaning-making machine, and it's running through interpretation filters. And so when we're interpreting something, especially somebody's projection, it can be difficult to figure out, okay, what's the truth? What is the nugget or the gift that's being offered here? And then how can I release the rest of the criticism or the judgment or the complaining and negativity that somebody might be bringing to a situation, but still accept the gift, right? That's the real tricky part, because a lot of times I'm calling it a sympathetic feeler. I'm definitely a sympathetic feeler. So when somebody feels sad, I'm sad. When somebody feels happy, I'm happy. So I can easily absorb somebody else's situation and what's going on with them, and it really affects me. So then I go through, and this happened a couple times last week, and after something happens a few times and I'm getting that hint, like, oh, this is a theme, then I want to share it with you and create a masterclass. Okay, so wherever you are, find your pillar, find the central pathway, let everything line up so you feel like you can come back to your center, come back to your core, and then from there, go ahead and see if you can feel what is yours and what is theirs, and extract only what truly serves you. I always ask source, I ask my higher self, how do you see this? How does source see this? What would love do? And that helps me sort it out. And then I really do send compassion for the person, whoever it may be, whether it's a close friend, a loved one, a relative, a coworker, a stranger. Sometimes we can get these little energetic hits from just somebody driving by and throwing us some negative energy. And we want to be able to clear that and send them compassion and come back to our own heart-centered space. Super important that we don't let other people entrain our field, especially with everything going on in the world, that we're owning our field and that we know how to come back to center. It is much harder to do with certain people, right? If somebody is super close to us, or we have a lot of day-to-day interaction with them, even living with them or working with them, then it can be very, very challenging to create our own space and bubble. And in that case, if I'm around them a lot, I put everybody else in their own golden bubble, and I'm in my golden bubble. And this is really, really important. These are the 3 essential keys. And then the other key, the third one, is to connect. So we always plug in so we can drain this energy out, and then we plug up so that we can connect to this solar life force energy that's always pulsing through us, right? So we connect down, we connect up, and then we're going to connect into the center of our being to feel our own core. A lot of times when I'm working with somebody, they tell me that they don't even remember what their energy feels like because it's so enmeshed with the people around them. And it's really important that we take space, either in nature. I love to walk and definitely be in the water, walk the beach, be in the ocean. I love to bike ride. I love moving my body. Energy wants to move. That's what an emotion is. It's energy that gets stuck and wants to move. And we do not want to store these energies in our bodies as unprocessed, right? And that unprocessed energy can ferment, and it can it can lead to all kinds of health issues when the energy gets stuck. So that is the little nugget that I want to give you today. Some more advanced energetic practices that I do in my coaching program that I call Harmonetics, as I work with emotional alchemy and the emotional fitness practice and the emotional mastery that we can go through in order to change our state and alchemize something that comes in is super high level. So if that sounds interesting or you're curious, hit me up, let me know, and we can go deeper into that. And the other one is the platinuming. What I've noticed is that when somebody comes in and is either judging, I'll use myself as an example, judging or criticizing me, I can get really down on myself, right? I can believe them, I can believe their story, and I can take on whatever projection that is happening. And when that happens, like, not only did they not take care of me and give me something that I needed, which is support or encouragement or even like just some positive feedback and then some criticism, I wind up not taking care of myself. So the platinum rule, which is like above the golden rule, is give yourself what it is that you are needing and wanting, that you were hoping the other person would provide. And so it's not just treat others the way you want to be treated, it is treat yourself the way you want to be treated and ask others to treat you that way. So you're not only depriving yourself by taking on their projections, but you're actually letting them control your energy field. So that's the first thing that I check back in with. And this is super high level. So again, these are the advanced energetics. And if you're really curious about how to do that and how to apply it, please do reach out to me. I'm happy to have a conversation. You can send me a message. I'm always available to go deeper into this stuff. But like for now, just think about that. Just contemplate. I call it contemplation. Contemplate how many times you've let someone else affect your mood and attitude. Like you were in a great space and somebody came in and kind of dumped on you and then brought your energy down, and then it felt really challenging to come back from that. So let's practice together. Now that we know what we know, that we can seal our field, we can create our own bubble. We don't want to create like a brick wall, right? Because if we actually armor ourselves, we're pinching ourselves off from the source energy, our own life force that pulses through us. So we want to make sure that we stay open and connected vertically instead of creating these horizontal cords and ties with people who may or may not have our best interest in mind. Maybe they are good one day and then fickle another. You know, the humans are like that. So we can always self-source this way. So I'm going to get into the swing and come into a simple sumo squat. For those that have a swing and want to practice with me, I'm going to talk you through how I use the swing to do what we were just saying, these 3 essential keys of opening up the spine. I'm going to work with the hips. The hips are connected to the knees. So a few people have been telling me about some knee problems that they've been having, as well as my sympathetic feeling body picked up some knee pain last week, and I worked through that and really got clear on what I was absorbing, particularly from my environment. And then we're also going to work on the hub of the neck and shoulders. So we have the head, this hollow sphere, the heart, and then the belly. So these 3 spheres have to be in alignment and communicating with one another. And of course, that is extremely symbolic of if we're in our heads or we're using a lot of mental energy, or if we're like really stuck in our emotional body and we're too stuck in our belly, and our emotions usually hang out in our belly. And then for some people it's matters of the heart, and I see our heart as the center point and the communication to our soul. And so when we are dealing with matters of the heart and somebody has like collapsed their posture and their body is rounding in, or they look defeated or depleted, then those are matters of the heart. And so we want to open up our communication, our compassion, and our ability to really feel our soul self pulsing through us. So that's what we're going to work with today. We're going to work with the three major hubs. And I like to just hang. This feels amazing on my spine. And not just sitting like I'm in a chair, but I can also reach up and grab for my handholds and utilize the handholds. So if hanging behind your back underneath your arms doesn't feel good, you can try for the handholds and just bend the knees. I have the swing pretty low in this particular spot. It can be higher or lower, but for some people I like working really close to the ground so they feel comfortable. And I'm gonna stretch my whole spine. I just love it, it feels so good. And then from there you can come into a sumo squat like this and just hang by the wrist wraps. And so the swing comes, the yoga swings I make, they're super deluxe and they're made in San Francisco. I really have made a tremendous effort to have them be the highest quality materials, and that they're definitely super special. It's a cotton lycra blend. It makes it way more comfortable to hang out because they stretch and they move with your body. They move with your skin and fascia. So what all we're doing is doing some gentle rocking movements from side to side to open up the spine, starting out nice and slow. We're going to really get the energy moving, focusing on the breath, coming back to the self, breathing into the belly, breathing into our hearts, breathing into our heads, and just let ourselves become present. So the breath, the movement, the focus into the present moment, that can really shift and change our field. And whenever you need to come up, I like to just bicep curl, give myself a little lift, shake it out. I like to do lots of shaking in my practice, lots of shifting and pulsing and wiggling and just getting the energy to move. So we go back and forth, back and forth. So go ahead and use the handholds whenever you need a break or come back into the swing behind the upper back. And when I'm in a sumo squat, I'm gonna just spend a few minutes doing the same thing. Just come into some gentle twists. I love this amazing view in the background. I'm so grateful to be in Maui. I have a retreat house here. So I'm here about half the time. I'm going to be back in the Bay Area next week. Excited to be back in the Bay and then over to Sedona. So you can always catch me in person in one of these places if you want to practice together. Or feel free to just stay in contact with me online. At least we have this beautiful virtual experience that we can do. And let me know what's going on for you, especially if something is happening in the body. We can map out what does that have to do with, or what is the metaphorical communication that the body is representing? Because the body is a communication device. Our bodies are here to let us know symbolically where is our energy flowing and where is it stuck. And this is really, really important that we understand that the body is more than just nuts and bolts and physical. The body is connected to our mental, emotional, and psycho-spiritual levels. So we have all these layers that are stacked that are affecting us all the time. I'm gonna pull myself back up to stand for a second and give my upper back a break and just come into a little bit of a heart opener and just open the arms wide, coming into angel wings and flapping my wings a few times. So now I warmed up the hips and now I'm gonna warm up the shoulders. For anybody who has some sort of shoulder injury or hip injury or knee injury, I've been working a lot with the knees throughout my entire adult life. My first knee injury was when I was 14, and that was a big reason why I switched over from engineering and science into the healing arts and spirituality, is I would map out the entire body and understanding that the knees and the lower back are about support and stability and moving forward in our lives. And one of these injuries, I've had hundreds of injuries, one of these injuries could be mapped out to what was happening. What was happening in my world? What was I doing? Where was I? Was I in a big move? Like one injury happened right in the middle of a big move, right? And that was obviously because of the shift in the support and stability I was experiencing. And then of course, neck and shoulders, they represent how much we're carrying, like the weight of the world on our shoulders and responsibility, and also how much we feel comfortable and safe in the world. If we're trying to control or grip, there's a lot of symbology with the neck and shoulders holding on to a lot of tension, particularly emotional stress. So we all have these different stressors in our lives. Come on back into a sumo squat and then open up your chest, open up into a supported back bend, just really small baby one. I can either keep my knees bent or I can straighten my legs. And I'm gonna let my head rest back into my hands and just open up the heart. So this entire practice that I created is a heart opening practice, because our heart is our center point in the hub. And that is what communicates the lower and upper spheres. So the lower chakras in the lower sphere communicate through the heart, and the upper chakras in the upper sphere of the head sphere communicate. So we have this big wave, this infinity wave that goes from head to heart to belly and back up again, back up to the heart and back up to the head. And so we want to start to feel this wave of energy. And notice if it feels stuck, like if you feel stuck between the head and the heart. But can you open up the communication that has to do with our throat and the back of the neck? Does it feel stuck in your solar plexus and in your lower back? A lot of times we have a lot of adrenal fatigue or kidney function, where we're just exhausting our energy and outputting too much energy, and that shows up in the kidneys. And the kidneys govern the lower back and the knees. So a lot of times we just have to slow down and just take that metaphorical hint from the universe. Like if we're moving too fast, we will definitely be slowed down one way or another. So we might as well just do that voluntarily and really take care of our joints. So let's hold on to the top of the leg loops and do both a warm up for the knees and the biceps and the hips and shoulders, working together with the elbows and knees. Really simple, just tiny little bicep curls. No big deal bicep curls, I like to call them. I'm staying in a sumo squat so I can really start to use my quads a little bit more if I wish. I can use all legs and just do little dips, or I can use all arms and really let my arms get a good workout. So you can choose if you want to do 50-50, or if you actually really want to do more arms for today, work the neck and shoulders, get the energy moving in the upper body, keep your alignment, feel the body of light and the bubble around you, and clear it out, right? Clear it out with the breath. A lot of times in these poses, especially if I feel particularly stuck or low energy, I'll wind up doing breath of fire here. So we'll do 5 rounds of that, just so you can really feel and hear what I mean by breath of fire. And I typically do it through the mouth. You can do it through the nose as well. So we can do this with the lift. So I go a little faster. And then rest back. So if I do 5 rounds of that, right, I usually go for 10 seconds or 30 seconds, then take a little break and come back to your sumo. It really pumps the energy through the body. And then I can do another round and just mix it up here, and I can come through angel wings. And then when I press forward, I'm gonna do a quick exhale. So we're gonna do the same thing just for a few minutes here. We're not gonna do all 5 rounds. So inhale, so it is like I'm clearing out the lungs, I'm clearing out the chest, I'm clearing out the throat. Anything having to do with the upper body, I can go ahead and just wave my arms back and forth while I'm working the breath, and it feels so amazing. If you want to take a moment and just come into a forward fold and catch your breath, because you'll notice the pumping of the breath can be really, really strong. You can start to feel the heat rising and building in the body. And so we slow it down in between rounds. And again, if it feels really good, you can do as many as those as you like. And then we're gonna incorporate the leg loops. So I'm gonna put these on and hop in so the leg loops are behind the knees. One of the most important practices that I do for my knee injuries is I allow the fabric to be bunched up behind the back of the knee, and it's hitting some of the acupressure points, and it's incredible how good it is for the knees to get just a little bit of pressure there. You can of course switch it up and push it down to your ankles if it feels like too much. You can also spread it out and bring it above the knee and spread it up a little higher if your knees are like, okay, but it's actually really good for our joints. The same with the upper body and the hip flexors. So I deliberately have created the leg loops and handholds and the main swing together. So it's kind of like TRX and aerial yoga got together and had a love child. So we have more equipment than just a regular hammock with the AYRx yoga swings, AYRx, and it's pronounced air and then the letter X, AYRx. And I really loved this combination because of the way that you can work in multidimensional space. You have so much more movement and options that way. And I want to work today just a little bit for the hips and the knees. This is just a quick 30-minute masterclass, a no big deal masterclass, so that we can start to open up the body. And I can share with you, like I said, a couple more of these alignment principles that I love to do in my practice. So we're not just doing a physical practice when we work together. We're incorporating the mind, the body, and our being. And let's keep our focus today on our bubble and keep clearing the energy out around our body and feel like you're sealing in your field. And you can move in multidimensional space and open up the energy, particularly if you're in a mental and emotional place where you feel confined, like you feel like you have to shrink or that you're playing small. This is all really symbolic of like open up and really trace the full shape of, I use these circular mats, but even if you have regular mats, feel how with the swing you can move in multidimensional space and you can start to feel your body of light and the bubble around you, and that can start to spin in both directions, which just feels really good. And once you feel like you have cleared that out, we can always come into supportive back bends and lean back and do the same breath. And so this is going to be really strong, guys. And if you're newer to the practice, doing the breath of fire while in a supported back bend can be very strong. So only do it as far as you want to go for today. Okay, so I'm going to demo here and then do it with me if you wish. We're going to press back, open up. I can get the swing a little lower. You can either hold on or reach back for your ankles. We'll just do 10. Woo! Come up and catch your breath. Take a moment and just let your body sway gently from side to side. I do like to give myself at least 10 breaths in between, and then we're going to go ahead and lean forward and open up the heart. I'm going to stay with my leg loops on at my knees, coming into a skydiver, and then bend the elbows, coming through flying butterfly, and then breath of fire again. Pump the breath. Okay, come on down and rest here. Coming back to chillaxin. And if it feels good to you and you need a little break, you can come to stand and bring the leg loops all the way up into skydiver and rest like this. But wherever you are, support your head with your hands, either leg loops higher up by the groin or at the knees, and just take a moment to reset. I guarantee you, if you do 5 rounds, either 10 seconds or 30 seconds of each one of these poses, it will immediately reset your energy system. It'll clear all of the congestion in our heads, in our hearts, in our bellies. So we can do this in a forward fold to make it much more of a relaxed position or cooling, and then we come into back bends to make it a stronger position. Okay, so we're gonna do one more in a forward fold. I'm gonna come forward into skydiver and then come here. So you can keep your leg loops high if the flying butterfly was too much. But again, I focus on pumping your solar plexus, pumping your belly. Inhaling. Very good. You might be a little lightheaded, so come up nice and slow and controlled. And for those that feel complete, if you don't normally do an inversion, hop into your cocoon and hang out here and just relax for 5-10 minutes before completing for today. Just let your body receive. Feel like you're wrapping a protective layer around your cocoon, around your bubble, and just rest back to rebalance your energy, bring all your energy back to your center. Let this be your reclaiming, your restoration. Let everybody else be in their own golden bubble and start to feel the strength of your spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Plug in, make sure you're plugging into your heart. Plug down and make sure that you're plugging into the earth. And plug up and make sure you're plugging into the center of the sun. Those 3 essential keys will start to shift your energy, and then you can start to feel what you, your source, yourself, your soul feels like, and let everybody else's energy dissipate and drain out and return to sender. It's going to happen often, so even if you don't have the opportunity to hop in the swing and really do the breath of fire and a lot of these movements, like let's just say you're at work or at the store and something like that happens, you can still imagine your body of light, your pillar of light, and then your tree of life surrounding you. So the tree of light and the tree of life is feeling like your body is the tree trunk, and then your roots are down to the center of the earth and your branches are rising. So you're nice and strong, you're rooted, and so these different waves of energy, the different winds aren't going to knock you over every time something happens, because you know we need to stay deeply rooted and grounded in ourselves to stay centered. I will come back and start adding some more of my tips and tricks around clearing our energy as we roll along here. I'm going to start offering more of these free 30-minute masterclasses, just so you guys know, if you are dying to get a swing, if you're living to get a swing, I do have this new virtual training I just finished, and I'm offering a swing for just another day. You can get a swing for free when you sign up for that training. It's a really super duper special. I've never offered a free swing before. I just want to get everybody who really would like to start practicing, especially at home. Now you can get a swing. I'm even throwing in free shipping. It was a March special with the March virtual training. It ended yesterday, but if you guys hopped on this masterclass, feel free to send me a message and I'll make sure that you get that virtual training. It's like a blending, the all-in-one, the AYRx Therapeutix with the aerial yoga play practices, the suspended somatics therapy, and then more of these energetic practices, more of this quantum coaching that I like to do mixed in with the quantum play. So thank you so much for taking the time to hop on here. If anybody likes to end with an inversion and you know how to come upside down, go ahead and wrap the swing around your waist. Let your feet hook and then hang for an extra 5 minutes. Feel free to stay as long as you want in your cocoon. If doing an inversion isn't quite your practice yet, if you want to learn about inversions, go ahead and just search on my YouTube. I have 3,000 videos for you guys to check out. So it's Jen Healy. So that's my handle. Go to Jen Healy at YouTube and you can find both the inversion practices and the virtual training on there. I look forward to having you come back next week. Thanks for popping on. Aloha. Bye for now.